Let it be this time, for in that way it is suitable for us to carry out all that is righteous.
Then he quit preventing him. After being baptized, Jesus immediately came up from the water. And look, the heavens were opened up, and he saw God's Spirit descending like a dove and coming upon him. Look, also, a voice from the heavens said,
"This is my Son, the beloved, whom I have approved."
So that's Jesus. That's the new Jesus for Jehovah's Witnesses. We've just been watching on the Friday session of the Pure Worship Convention part 1 of This Is My Son, which itself is from the Good News According to Jesus, part 2. The part 1 of the series was in last year's convention. They're basically basing all the conventions at the moment on this new series that they've been working on for quite some time, that's being filmed mostly in Australia. And so in this episode, we get our first glance of the dude who's playing Jesus. And who knew that John the Baptist, by the way, was a redhead? I mean, that's news to me. Apparently he was a redhead. Anyway, so we have this rather raunchy, dare I say, depiction of Jesus. And when I say raunchy, I'm not being prudish in any way. It makes sense that when someone gets baptized, they get their kit off. But I will say this, they show other baptisms in this episode where, for example, John the Baptist is baptizing people and they're fully clothed. But for some reason, Jesus has to get his kit off, I think, to show everyone how perfect he is. And it's interesting in the context of what we're going to see later in the convention, where they're going to be dealing with some of the raunchy images that can come up on social media. They're kind of referring to Instagram, and they suggest very strongly later in the convention that it might be an idea for some people to delete apps like Instagram if you're getting kind of provocative images coming up. Apparently that's a rule for guys. Well, how is this not slightly provocative for women? I mean, you have a dude that's wet and dripping, bare-chested and panting. I mean, I'm sure there will be some women, at least, who will find this, let's say, more than spiritually uplifting. But anyway, this is the new Jesus that Jehovah's Witnesses are supposed to think about whenever they're reading the New Testament, the Gospels. And if I were the governing body, I would be really hoping that this particular actor who they've chosen never wakes up and never defects from the organization. Because can you imagine what a nightmare it would be for them to have to deal with that? To have to effectively erase all of these episodes that they've invested so heavily in. They'd basically disappear overnight from jw.org, wouldn't they, if this particular guy ever turned apostate? So I'm sure the governing body will be hoping and praying that that never happens.